Okay, today I have the pleasure of inviting Prashant, the winning captain of the first milestone of this fitness challenge. With a diverse team of 11 people, I know the diversity and we will talk about it. So how do you feel?
How do I feel?
After the winning the first milestone?
Absolutely brilliant. I didn't imagine that it would happen. I think it was more about just following the process that I thought would work. And it did work. Finally we won. It was a small margin, but we won.
Great. And this role of taking the captainship, you were very keen probably of taking this role, right?
Not at all keen. So
what is the story behind this?
So when Neha came up with this whole idea of doing this challenge, I was like, no, I don't have time for this. And I got added to the group. And then, I wasn't even voting, anything. Somebody told me, Prashant, you've been elected as the captain. Yaar, ye kya hua? We were like, I was thinking completely, listen, I have work to do. I'm going to focus on this and that. And suddenly I'm the captain. Well, see, now that people have actually selected or elected me for the captain, I have to do my responsibility.
Okay.
The good thing was I have done this in the past, in the sense, going from 86 kg down to lower kg and then again relaxing, going back up, going down. I've done this previously many times. So the challenge is about understanding what's different, what's the variable. There are some people who are interestingly motivated that if you tell them, listen, you need to lose weight, you need to work out, they will work out. There are some people who are really foodie, deep down foodie. And it's how do you change them? How do you tell them, please buy samosa ke sapna chhod de, focus on losing the weight. So it was difficult. So and as a person, I'm a very data oriented person, and I don't believe humans. I believe more data that comes from gadgets, data that comes from your workouts, much more than humans. So I started first understanding person by person. What's their lifestyle is, what do they eat, how much workout they do, what's their activity style, do they just walk during the day or do they actually work out during the day, what kind of food they do they eat, do they wear any kind of smartwatch, is that data I can actually trust.
Right.
Then the question is about, this challenge is about weight loss, so it's important to understand what's their current weight is. So I calibrated their personal weighing scale with my weighing scale, so that on a day-to-day basis I can actually understand what their weight is. If they are drinking or eating over the weekend, I understand that's going up. What's the fluctuation? So I'm a very data-oriented person. I understood their activity style, workout style, eating style, and there are many calculators and strategies that are available on the internet if you Google about it. I fed all the details, and I actually created person by person plan for winning. So I said, for you, the plan is about, you're doing already the workout, the problem is the food. Or for some person, the problem was not the food. The food they were actually eating healthy, the workout was missing. Some people, they were eating just carbs all the day and nothing else. And for some people, this is just the water weight. And especially for in talking about diversity, we had some of the women team members. And for them, the weight would fluctuate 4 kg, like it's +2 in one day and -2 the other day. There's no science that actually works. And obviously it's not really the fat weight. That's actually water weight. So how do you control the water weight so that you actually end up winning the first goal? Now you talked about the phase 1.
Right.
This entire challenge was broken into 2 phases, and we had to lose X amount of weight. This is one thing that I know from experience, is that whatever weight you can lose in the initial days is easier than the weight you would lose in the later days.
Absolutely.
So I told everyone, okay, bhai, aap log apna targets do. So somebody gave 2 kg as the target, somebody gave 1 kg as the target. I said, all right. I took the weight. Without telling them what their target is, I doubled the targets. And I just prepared a sheet and started sharing that you are behind the target without telling what the target is. And it's just mind playing that they can see that in the daily reports, they are coming behind targets. and they started working out. So people who had target for 1 kg started targeting for 2 kgs.
Okay.
2 became 4. And that was the strategy I used to essentially push the team members to their more, as in the higher limit of their weight loss in the first phase. One additional thing that actually I played out towards the end of phase 1 going into phase 2 was, it is difficult to, as a captain, go and talk to individual 10 people and target them individually in terms of, you have to gym kar, you know, you need to walk this much, you need to create a deficit of the calories, you're eating this much, whatever. It's damn difficult for me as an individual, and so I created a team within a team. Okay, I called it the think tank, and started targeting specific people who are behind in terms of target, saying that, okay, you two go after him, you two go after her.
It's like buddy support system.
It's a buddy support system, exactly. Okay. Buddy support systems to say, you know, I know you're doing this really well, and he is kind of motivated. I'm not able to be in there, but can you motivate him to come and gym at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Or can you make him walk with you 5 rounds of Embassy Pristine maybe at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. the route, when I may not have the time. So I initially found who are my, you know, the strong pillar of the fort, and told those essentially pillars to say, go after these individuals and motivate them, tell them the entire thing, what needs to be done, and bring them into the goal setting. Finally, we won the phase 1.
You won the phase 1, which was probably, you know, expected from your team, because you were all strategy man and you were all data oriented, and you know, worked with them very closely. But I think when we came to phase 2, one is that the other team, I'm talking about the opponent team, after losing the phase 1, they were pretty charged up, right? That we have to go and for the kill in the phase 2, correct? Here your team, where you were already reaching the peak of losing the early weight, most probably. So what are the things that you thought for phase 2 and how you approached that? Because for you it was a little bit more difficult, as I say, than opposite team, because they were still behind the target, right? So they were still going through their stages of early weight loss and all that stuff. But I believe in your team, people became a little bit more, I would say, you know, greedy in terms of losing more weight. Rather into the maintenance mode, I think a lot of people signed up for losing some weight and all that stuff. But what was your thought behind that? How will you approach phase 2 little differently than phase 1?
Yeah, so phase 2 was interesting. Phase 2 was not about, you know, who loses the max and which team loses the max. It's about individual putting the target. And you're right, and you know, because of phase 1, a lot of my team members were greedy enough, or they were overconfident. They're like, okay, I'm going to lose 2 kgs. I'm going to lose 1.5 kgs, and I knew that's going to be tough. All right, so I mean, I didn't go and say this is going to be tough, guys. You know, you have signed up, fine. I will pitch in. My team members are going to pitch in. So obviously, there are 2 parts that as a strategy that worked. First is, there's nothing other than sheer work hard, you know, hard work in terms of going out to the gym and burning those calories. Second, you know, as I think many of people have said, it's not about the gym, it's about the food you eat.
Yeah.
You know, 70% is about weight loss is about the food you eat. The rest is you know, your workout. So how do you change your food habits? Thankfully, one of our team member Khushbu, actually talked about intermittent fasting, and specifically when you're doing intermittent fasting, what kind of food you should eat, what can actually control your hunger pattern. So how do you take your intermittent fasting from 13 hours to 16 hours? So slowly, some key individuals we focused on who actually targeted on 2 kgs around how do you do intermittent fasting, taking them from 12 hours, as I said, 12 hours to 16 hours. What should you eat? Focusing purely eating cucumber, which is low carb, lot of high fiber food, and because you need carbs. If you don't eat carbs, you'll go berserk. You'll have brain fog. So try having papaya, and then just top it up with a buttermilk. That combination makes you full. It is low in carb. it's right amount of carb, it's perfect, and they did this continuously 2 or 3 times. They were absolutely able to get to the goal. That's one part. The second part was absolutely going one-on-one and pushing them, figuring out whatever we could do to make them lose the weight. It would actually go to, essentially talking to their spouse,
right,
who could be from the other team, and saying, "Bhai, please, kuch help karo. Usko 1 kg or lose karna hai." He will be very happy.
You played the emotional card.
Emotional card, connecting with the spouse, because his spouses were in a different team. So how do you, if the husband has to lose the weight, and wife is the one who's actually taking care of the food, then you have to go talk to the wife. Please, usko samosa mat de. It's like, make sure that he's not eating samosas and chole, parathe, whatever. One of our team members absolutely was a paratha like savvy person. He will go and cherish the aloo paratha. And today I see him, because of courtesy of this entire challenge and courtesy of his wife, they have chosen a lot more healthier lifestyle, and he's losing weight, continuously losing weight, and getting towards, when he's just 1 kg away from reaching the BMI.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much, Prashant, for all this, the journey, the experience. Really, really happy that I was part of your team, and you shared absolutely brilliant views.
Happy to be part of it.